lights are not on. Oh, he's doing. Oh. 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 Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fredericksburg. We are situated on the ancestral homeland of the Rappahannock and Potawatomi tribes, and where enslaved people were forced to work on the land. We acknowledge that this land holds many histories, great stories, and the blood of a people. I am Ed Rodriguez, and my personal pronouns are he and him, and I will be your worship associate this morning. Here at the UUFF, we come together both in person and online as one community. We strive to nurture learning, inspire spiritual insights, create compassionate relationships, and lovingly transform our community and the world. Is there a little feedback? You guys hear a little bit? Yeah. Where am I? If you are joining us as a guest or a first-time visitor here in the building or online, we are glad you are here. Those in the building are invited to leave contact information. Where am I? I just lost my. At the welcome table in the foyer. For those joining us online, you are invited to visit the worship portal on our website at uuffxbg.org and fill out our connection card. Whether in person or online, this will allow our ministers and staff to get in contact with you in the week to come. Everyone is invited to fill out a card about a personal, significant joy or concern that you would like shared during the service. For those in person, you may pick up and leave your card at the Joys and Concerns table in the foyer. For those joining us online, you are once again invited to visit our worship portal on our website and fill out our Joys and Concerns form. Our pastoral care team member collects the in-person cards to read during the service. For those online, your joys and concerns will be read during the next service. Please join us after the service for coffee and conversation. In the spirit of greeting, I invite us all to greet one another. For those joining us online, please share your greetings with the online chat. Hello, everyone. It is good to have you with us all today. of Toppins a bag, I've got a pledge announcement. You like that? The total pledges that we have received so far equals $169,456 from 60 donors. Thank you to everyone who has pledged their financial support of the UUFF. We are past the halfway point, and we still have a long way to go to get to our goal of $290,000. Your contributions are critical to the financial health of this fellowship. If you haven't pledged yet, please do so today before you leave, and please consider raising your pledge by 10% so we can meet our goal. The pledge forms and pledge box are near the entrance to the foyer. A member of the pledge team will be there to receive your pledge. Thank you.
Good morning. March 23rd is a big, big deal. Everybody know what March 23rd is about? Okay, well, we're going to watch a movie, the movie Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, also called EEAAO, or YEO as for short, right? And it's a bizarre movie that came out and won all kinds of awards last year, and it raises all kinds of interesting questions. So I want you to come. It's at 4 o'clock. You just have to let me know that you're coming so I know how much food to have here for you. We're going to watch the movie, and we're going to talk about it because there's some really cool stuff in it. So Ed, are you coming?
I've seen the movie, and I didn't really like it.
Oh, well, see, but that's why it's perfect for you to come, because we are going to talk about it. I've been gathering quotes from the movie and ideas from the movie, big themes, and so we're going to be able to talk about it and chew on it together and talk about how it relates to UU life. Maddie, are you coming? See, if you loved the movie, then you definitely have to come, so you can help us, talk about and pull out all of the juicy bits that came out of this movie. James, are you coming?
I don't know. Everything? I don't know what it's about.
You never saw the movie.
Everything?
Right. So, yeah, if you've never seen the movie, then you absolutely have to come to this event, because this will be the funnest way to watch it with a whole bunch of other people and then talk about what it means, because it will blow your brain. If you've never seen it, it will blow your brain. All right? So I want you to come, and the way I'm going to help you remember that we're going to do this is we're going to sing a little song. There is a show that we will watch, and YEO is its name. Oh, EEAAO, 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 and YEO is its name. There is a show that we will watch, and YEO is its name. Oh, everything, EEAAO, everything, EEAAO, everything, EEAAO, and YEO is its name. There is a show that we will watch, and YEO is its name. Oh, everything, everywhere, AAO, everything, everywhere, AAO, everything, everywhere, AAO, and YEO is its name. There is a show that we will watch, and YEO is its name. Oh, everything, everywhere, all AO, everything, everywhere, all AO, everything, everywhere, all AO, and YEO is its name. There is a show that we will watch, and YEO is its name. Oh, everything, everywhere, all at O, everything, everywhere, all at O, everything, everywhere, all at O, and YEO is its name. There is a show that we will watch, and YEO is its name. Oh, everything, everywhere, all at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once. And YEO is its name. Hey!
That's a fun little song. I like the little ditty. Please join me in reading in unison our words for lighting the chalice. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together we care for our earth and work for friendship and peace in our world.
A rich man's house, presently in a state of disrepair and to which there is just a single gate, burst into flames with his children playing inside. The father mercifully calls to them, asking them to leave the burning house, but they are too caught up in their play to heed his warnings. He considers doing them forcibly, however, before long understands that this too won't work. He lets the children know that outside the entryway they will find goat-drawn carriages, deer-drawn carriages, and ox-drawn carriages that he will give them to play with. Such rare playthings they have always wanted. Such interesting toys being exactly what they wanted, the children rush outside to the extraordinary delight of their father, and before long ask him for the promised carriages. All things considered, in light of the fact that he is rich and has a significant number of them, he chooses to give every one of his children a bigger and fancier carriage drawn by an extraordinary white ox. The children, having gotten something better than what they expected, were overjoyed. The Buddha then, at that point, deciphers this parable to Shariputra, making sense of that he, the Buddha, is similar as the dad in the story, endeavoring to save his children from the flames of birth, old age, sickness, and death, from which they can't escape alone because of their attachments. He offers them the 3 vehicles as a method for helping them through the gate, yet compensates them eventually with a great vehicle, a better prize than the one promised.
Good morning. Would you take your hymnal if you pick one up? If not, we'll have the words on the screen. We're going to sing together hymn number 300. If you're able, would you join me standing? We're going to sing together with heart and mind. With heart and mind and voice and hand, may we this time and place transcend to make our purpose understood. A mortal search for mortal good, a firm commitment to the goal of justice, freedom, peace for all. A mind that's free to seek the truth, a mind that's free in age and youth, to choose a path no thread impedes, where every light of conscience leads. Our martyrs died so we could be a church where every mind is free. A heart that's kind, a heart whose search makes love the spirit of our church, where we can grow and each one's gift is sanctified and spirits lift, where every door is open wide for all who choose to step inside. Thank you. You may be seated.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Doug McCusker. I am the minister serving you all here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fredericksburg. I hope you enjoyed that parable of the burning house. It's from the Lotus Sutra, and it's, of course, a Buddhist sacred text. And we'll kind of tease out where that fits into our service, our sermon today, which is transformation as a community practice. Back when I was working for the government, I was put on a task force with a mission to transform a federal agency. Business transformation was all the rage at the time. It was being taught in universities. We heard amazing stories of how commercial companies and government agencies had transformed themselves to better tackle the challenges of the future. So we had representatives from all over the organization, and I was representing the systems engineering department. I was expected to play a key role in defining the processes that we would need once we figured out what we were going to transform to. I was excited about this assignment. I was part of a team to change the future of the organization. We were to consider the changes in external forces that were affecting our mission, changes in technology, and even generational changes in the workforce. The goal was to engineer our transformation to a lean, mean, fighting machine. Long story short, we failed miserably. We spent countless hours creating huge charts trying to depict the present and the future. Being a government organization, some of our competing contractors heard what we were doing, and so they offered us unsolicited advice, which just so happened to favor their businesses. Internally, none of us could agree on a clear breakdown of the key things that define the essence of our organization. Using our scientific minds, we kept reducing things to lower and lower levels to the point that we didn't recognize the monster that we had created. Organizational infighting took over, and the whole thing fell apart. What started out as an effort to mold our future became a lesson in humility. Change was considered something that we could harness and control. We were trying to transform ourselves through sheer will and determination without understanding the equal and opposite forces that held us together. We were so focused on what we did that we couldn't see who we were. As soon as we started, resistance reared its head. And of course, in many cases, that was a good thing. Systems, like an organization or a fellowship, systems resist change. They favor stability and balance. Change causes anxiety. It disrupts people's comfort zones, and it introduces risk. Institutions are not particularly good at managing change, and neither are we as individuals. The last thing we want to do is break our old habits or change our routines. And there is wisdom in the "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" adage. But usually, we convince ourselves that things aren't broken when they really are. It takes a considerable amount of energy to try to keep things constant in a very rapid, changing world. This month, we are looking at the concept of transformation. Transformation, the most radical of all changes. Why in the world would we want to do that? And can we engineer our own transformation? Or is it something that happens to us beyond our control? Individually, just like that agency, we can get caught up in the latest craze, like businesses and organizations tend to do. Transformation for the sake of personal improvement is like using a sledgehammer on a thumbtack. Transformation is drastic. How many of us want to go through puberty again? But there are times in our lives when the status quo sucks the life out of us. That is when transformation has already begun on its own, even if we have failed to recognize it. Transformation happens when it happens. And it is not our job to force it, but to recognize and harmonize with it. The harmonization comes after a period of denial, struggle, and then finally, surrender. We think of the cocoon, right? The cocoon as a safe place where we can wrap ourselves in protective tissue. But it is a dark, isolated place, like the desert where Jesus is said to have retreated, or the thick forest where Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, went off to meditate. All these places are metaphors for the barren, internal reality that constitutes transformation. But transformation doesn't happen in isolation, contrary to those sacred texts. We are always connected. Actually, both of those spiritual figures had people with them. In the case of Jesus, they visited Satan. Satan, the devil, came and tried to tempt Jesus. And demons came and tried to tempt Siddhartha. So really, transformation doesn't happen in isolation. We are always connected and interdependent on the world around us. Whether you are talking about individual or collective transformation, we are all part of many systems. Just think about it. We are part of this fellowship, which is a part of the Fredericksburg community and the Unitarian Universalist Association. This fellowship is affected by technological changes, which in turn impacts us as individuals. We had to get used to this stuff, you know. This fellowship was severely impacted by the coronavirus pandemic, and of course we weren't alone, because it was a worldwide phenomenon. The changes going on in our lives are tempered and molded by the changes going on in the communities that we belong to. And that includes our families. They can slow down or they can accelerate the direction of our transformation. And the communities themselves are in a process of transformation due to the changing forces all around them. To put it plainly, transformation is a community practice. Steve? We're going to watch a video called The People's Pottery Project.
A rich man's house, presently in a state of disrepair and to which there is just a single gate, burst into flames with his children playing inside. The father mercifully calls to them, asking them to leave the burning house, but they are too caught up in their play to heed his warnings. He considered,
when I'm making pottery, I feel at peace, I feel bliss. I don't want to be bothered. I just want to just be in my lane, in my zone.
That's what People's Pottery Project is. It's real healing, you know? We were able to make beautiful things with our hands that were once considered violent in society's eyes. For communities to understand that people who are formerly incarcerated can make such beautiful things, that's my hope. One story at a time, we can change one heart, one mind at a time.
I didn't say it.
No, you didn't say it. I wanted to buzz up. Right now. She gets really serious and like soft. Hi, my name is Elka Perkins. I'm formerly incarcerated. I served almost 26 years, and I am co-founder of People's Pottery Project.
Hello, my name is Dominique Perkins. I served 13 years, and I'm a co-founder at People's Pottery Project.
People's Pottery Project is an art studio located in Glassville Park, and what we do is we employ and empower formerly incarcerated women, non-binary, and transgenders. It's a space where you can renew, rebuild.
There's times when life is beating me up, and I'm like, dang, I just want to go to the studio and just throw.
I had the idea of the black just to see what it would look like. I think these are the ones I made, these.
Just the process of getting clay, molding it into a plate or a bowl.
To help them get back on their feet, get them started and doing well on the outside.
So Ilka came and started working for me as an artist assistant, and then when I met Dominique, her wife, who was also an amazing ceramicist from the get-go, just like had natural capacity and skills on the working on the wheel. And when I met both of them, I just felt like that this project could actually really happen.
And she was like, hey, I have an idea. How would you guys like to be co-founders of People's Pottery Project? And what we can do is we can make bowls, put them on a website and sell them, and then I could probably help hire more formerly incarcerated. And when she said that, it just clicked. Like, that's all we've wanted to do was help people that are coming out or help people that we've been left behind, you know?
For me, it's like a work in progress. You see the end result and it's beautiful.
With my hands, somebody is going to be grubbing off of the plates that I made, and, you know, hopefully they lick the plate, you know, make me really feel good about myself.
So the assumption I feel society has about gangs is that they're violent, they just want to harm people, they just want to go out there and commit these crimes. What I learned from being in a gang was that it was a common ground where everybody felt safe. I was willing to do whatever it took to keep it, you know? And that's how I ended catching my case. I got 15 alive, plus 10, plus 3, plus 8. I was 16, almost 17, and then I went to prison at 17.
The involvement with gangs caused me to go down the wrong path, get caught up, and end up serving 13 years of my life in prison. I'm just tired of these walls caving in on me, or I'm tired of having to slave for cents. I'm just tired. I don't want to live like this no more. I need to change.
Rewriting the narrative of our fingerprints, I mean, that in itself sets a new story. My past is what's building my presence, you know. The success that we've had is based on our past, our fingerprints. That's something that we're like, oh God, here we go. We gotta go to R&R and do our fingerprints again. Or, oh man, I can't even explain how it feels to rewrite something that's so mentally just hard on us, you know, like. We are actually sharing our stories and involving ourselves in people's lives in the community to help change the narrative, to help change stereotypes. So we do take the extra mile and show the extra kindness, or show the extra love, or show the extra support, because that's what we hope to get in return. We are not just numbers. We're not just people who committed crimes and are habitual criminals or can't get anything together and are going to keep going back into prison. The reason why the recidivism rate is so high in incarceration is because upon release, we don't have the support system. We don't have a safe place where we can actually build confidence. We're broken too. So if we have a safe place, just like here at People's Pottery Project, they build their confidence. They build communication lines.
Working here has given me tremendous independence. Purchase a used car, get my driver's license.
I guess allowing me to see that I even had hidden talents, it calms me. It's very therapeutic.
A group of people working together, you know, for the right reasons, helping each other grow.
My greatest hope for the future is to help as many people as I can. That's all I want to do. I feel good about who I am today.
Changes happen. people change. And it's important, you know?
We work from our hands. We do everything with our hands. So why not make something beautiful come from our hands?
As many of you may know, I have a prison ministry, a UU group, that we are connected to at the Coffeewood Correctional Center outside of Culpeper. I go there every Friday, and it's all men. And yesterday, one of them wasn't there because he got released, and it was so happy. I was there the week before. It was his last Friday. He was going to be with us, and we did what we could as a party, and everybody wished something for this gentleman as he was getting out. And I've seen this many, many times. And they come to the community, and in this case, I tried to hook him up with the UU church near where he's going to be, so that he has a community like us to support him and help him as he's making that huge transition back into what we call the free world. Now, I was only incarcerated for 1 day, but I had, of course, a year's suspended sentence. This is back when I was 19 years old. So I didn't have to go through what these people on the film had to and what my friends at the prison go through. But I suppose I could classify my midlife transition from a government bureaucrat to a congregational minister as a transformation. It took place over many years and involved a lot of soul searching. I resisted, and I often doubted that I was up to the task. On one level, it was a career change. Many of us have done that. But on another level, it was an unmooring of my sense of self and a reconnection into something much larger. I remember attending my first winter convocation at the Meadville Lombard Theological School in Chicago. I was 52 years old, and I was in my first semester of seminary. Up until then, it felt like school. I was also interning at a homeless shelter in Alexandria, which I think was where the first couple of layers of my old self started to peel off. This convocation started with a powerful worship service about, of all things, metamorphosis. In the middle of the service, a string quartet played a haunting piece, while several dancers poignantly captured the struggle and the joy of change. I was mesmerized. And then suddenly, the totality of what I was attempting to do came crashing into my consciousness. And my first reaction was doubt. I looked at these classmates who were putting on this wonderful worship service, and I immediately thought that I was out of my league. I couldn't imagine ever being able to produce something like that or preach a sermon like I had just heard. I wasn't inspired. I was intimidated. I felt like a phony who was fooling himself. I almost walked out of there. But something froze me in my place. The emotions made me cry because I wasn't sure who I was anymore. The person sitting next to me noticed my tears and simply put their arm around me. It was a classmate who was going through the same journey as me. Now, fast forward to my last year at seminary. I was asked to lead the Vesper service during the winter convocation, and without even giving it a second thought, I accepted. And as I was starting to prepare my sermon, I thought about that moment 3 years earlier. And it felt like eons ago. I realized that while I wasn't even looking, I had transformed into a minister. In the interim period, I had cast caution to the wind, confronted my fears, learned new skills, made tons of mistakes, listened to my internal voice, and slowly built confidence. There wasn't one moment of transformation. It was a bunch of micro changes, self-reflection, meditation, and lots of practice. Lots of papers, too, I remember. Lots of papers, but lots of practice. It was about trusting the formation process, relying on my community, my peers for support, letting go of my old identity, and accepting that I was a minister in my heart and in my soul. Transformation happened to me. I didn't engineer it, but I wasn't a passive spectator either. I put myself into new places and new situations where I couldn't rely on my old habits. The doubts that I experienced during that emotional worship service opened a space that I needed to become something new. Transformation is about spiritual stillness, deep listening, and surrender. Not fighting with yourself and others to make sure that you are in control. It's about setting your internal navigation by your intentions and then paying close attention to the currents that are flowing around you. In our story video about the burning house, the children would have burned up if they had not let go of their attachments to their toys. They were enticed by their father to pursue a different desire, and it saved their lives. Buddhism teaches us that nothing is permanent. Everything changes. The natural world is in constant motion, forming, transforming, and then reforming. The deserts are made up of tiny particles of sand that started out as living organisms, then died, coalesced together under extreme pressure, formed into rocks, got sheared, and then grounded by water, were carried off by the wind and then dumped in low areas on the other side of the earth. Now that's transformation. We create an illusion of permanence through our attachments to things. We wrap our sense of self around that illusion as if it is a rock in a stream. This narrows the world to our level rather than expanding us to that which is greater. We experience suffering when the flow of life grinds against our static vision, chipping away at our illusion. Transformation happens when we align ourselves not with the rock, but with the shard that has been broken away and set in motion. Anytime our lives are in motion, we experience both trepidation and wonder. When we find ourselves in an unfamiliar pattern, we need to find our inner stillness, notice our breath, and focus as if we are in a meditation. We need to be patient and aware. And we need to lean into our communities where someone can wrap their arm around us and assure us that we are held, that we belong, no matter what we are going through. And in return, by being present and attentive to the needs of others, our true self will emerge. Our lives are not something that we can engineer like that agency that tried to control its own transformation. Now, drive and determination, they're very important, but so is acceptance of who we are. We need to let go of any regrets and disappointments. They are illusions of pride and hubris. And don't look at transformation and change as projects to fix or to achieve some sense or some state of purity. Trying to avoid change or to control change are the surest ways to stay stuck. Letting go of our attachments to our present self and embracing the unexpected opportunities enables us to transform with a sense of adventure and curiosity. Now, pain and suffering are part of the journey, but they don't define us any more than joy and beauty. They are all part of what it means to live a full life in the time that we are allotted. So let us be grateful for this one life in the time that we did not ask for and never could have imagined where it is taking us. May we find peace in our impermanence and joy in the becoming. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be.
When you give to the UUFF, you help us nurture learning, inspire spiritual insights, and lovingly transform our community and the world. For those gathered in person, greeters will be coming around with a basket for donations. All are also invited to donate via text message to the number 844-963-2785, the number that is on your screen currently. Or you may visit our website, uuffxbg.org/giving. Our offertory will now be gratefully received. been shared and freely given here help us to grow in generosity and caring for the world of which we are a part.
Good morning. I'm Marsha Wilson. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a member of the pastoral care team. As a caring community, we share these personal matters that you want this community to hold in our hearts. I have a personal joy. I have all my kitchen ripped up currently, which sounds like it's not a joy, but I'm getting all new floors. The estimate came back at like 15 grand for all the repairs, which the insurance is covering. So that's a great joy. The other concern is just, keeping the baby off of nails and fun things in my home. And then we have a joy and concern from one of our members, Joanna Berger. She said that she's surprisingly joyful to be free from her husband since they separated on February 17th. And now she is heading into a difficult divorce. Please keep her and her daughter in your thoughts and prayers so they may have the best possible outcome. Let's take a few moments to be quietly present with all the concerns and joys spoken and unspoken of this community. You are invited to come forward and place a pebble in the bowl of water for any joys and concerns that you are holding in your heart.
Will you let me be your servant? Let me be God's love to you. Pray that I may have the grace to let you be my servant too. We are pilgrims on a journey. We are travelers on the road. We are here to help each other walk the mile and share the load. I will weep when you are weeping. When you laugh, I'll laugh with you. I will share your joy and sorrow till we've seen this journey through.
Story time. I'll share with you a Sufi story called The Stream. A stream, from its course in the far-off mountains, passing through every kind of countryside, at last reached the sands of the desert. Just as it had crossed every other barrier, the stream tried to cross this one, but found that as it ran into the sand, its waters disappeared. It was convinced, however, that its destiny was to cross this desert, and yet there was no way. Now a hidden voice, perhaps the sand, coming from the desert itself, whispered, The wind crosses the desert, and so can the stream. The stream objected, saying that the wind could fly, and this was why it could cross the desert. But surely the stream can't fly. The voice replied, by traveling in your own accustomed way, you cannot get across. You will either disappear or become a marsh. You must allow the wind to carry you over to your destination. But how could this happen? By allowing yourself to be absorbed into the wind. This idea was not acceptable to the stream. After all, it had never been absorbed before. It did not want to lose its individuality. And once having lost it, how was one to know that one's identity could even be regained? The wind, said the whisper, performs this function. It takes up water, carries it over the desert, and then lets it fall again. How can I know that this is true, said the stream. It is so. And if you do not believe it, you cannot become more than a dry riverbed. But can I not remain the same stream that I am today? You cannot, in either case, remain the same, the whisper said. When the stream heard this, echoes of memory began to arise in their thoughts. Dimly, it remembered a state in which it, or some part of it, had been held in the arms of the wind. And so, it surrendered. And the stream raised its vapor into the welcoming arms of the wind, which gently and easily bore it upwards and along, letting it fall safely as rain once they reached the top of a mountain, many, many miles away, where it became a mighty river.
Why do I pledge? I walked into the River Road UU in 1992 with my we can get married here. I said, it looks like a ski lodge. I said, where are the pews? There's just chairs. I don't understand. I thought it needed to be more organized, more holy. 2013-ish, I've been urging it. We had been a few times, but we needed to get into it. Kind people that cared about others, not just in a creed, but in real life. Now my parents raised me in an organized religion, going if it's the place for you. If you believe in a woman's right to control her own body, you can love whomever the hell you want to, then this is the place for you. Those are just why I am here. And that's why I give both my and with my time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Our closing hymn is number 318. Would you stand with me if you're able? We're going to sing together, We Would Be One. We would be one, as now we of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other, to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow, a nobler world than we have known today. We would be one in searching for that meaning which binds our hearts and points us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service. Love and justice strive to make us free.
Our closing words come from Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Ours is not the task of fixing the entire world all at once, but of stretching out to mend the part of the world that is within our reach. Any small, calm thing that one soul can do to help another soul, to assist some portion of this poor, suffering world, will help immensely. It is not given to us to know which acts or by whom will cause the critical mass to tip toward an enduring good. What is needed for dramatic change is an accumulation of acts, adding to, and adding more, continuing. We know that it does not take everyone on earth to bring justice and peace, but only a small, determined group who will not give up the first, the second, or even during the 100th gale.
Please join me in reading in unison our words for extinguishing the chalice.
We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of love and service. May it be a catalyst for spiritual growth and social justice as we carry it outside these walls to the world we live in until we are together again. Go in peace, serve the world, return again in love.
Good timing. Good timing. Sure. But yeah, that's good.
But it was good.
Yeah,
You know,
I think so too.
this is the intergenerational service, but where are the kids?
I know.
I think they've fallen into this pattern where,
Yeah.
oh, then that means we don't have RE listening.
Right. You might be right. Yeah.
Ed, can you help?
Oh, count with me? Sure.
You need 2 people.
Yeah, gotcha. What are your thoughts as far as for, do we have a Survey Monkey account? Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And then would we be able to get Matt to send it out to the emails? Okay. I will do that. Whoops. All right. Let me go give up the mic. you. Haven't seen you for a minute. Yeah. Good to see you.
Thanks. It's good to be back.
Yes. Yes. Well, today this was my last worship associate. I'm stepping down because just